What's up, people? Welcome to this episode of the By the Hood podcast or webcast because I don't know how you're consuming this content. I'm your host as always. My name is Jimmy. And as we start off every show, that's with gratitude. Just want to say thank you to all of our listeners, all of our supporters, all the people that have visited us to cop the By the Hood merch. We appreciate all the support that we get out there, man. My brother is back in the building. You know what I'm saying? We got Corey. Corey, what's up, brother?
Man, I start with thanks, man, and praise, and I'm above the ground, man. You know what I mean? Every day above the ground is a good day, so I'm winning.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And listen, for those out there who may be listening for the first time, our platform is dedicated to highlighting brothers and sisters who look just like us, who are doing amazing things in the world. In this episode, we got two special brothers, man, content creators. They have a podcast, and they're very humorous. I listen to their listen, everybody knows I listen to tons of podcasts. I consume podcasts, and I subscribe to these guys' podcasts because they laugh their and they talk about a topic that I think is important to our community, which is literacy, right? But they do it in a way that's relatable. You know, it's both funny and it's inspiring. And I just want to, get them to share their journey about what they got going on. I mean, we got the Literacy Kings in the building. The Literacy is made up of CP, I'm going to call you because it's an extra, we got two Corey. So I'm going to say CP and Jay with the MBA. Yeah, CP and Jay with the MBA. What's going on, man?
Yeah, man. Appreciate y'all having us on, dog. We excited to be here.
Appreciate the love, man. Appreciate the love.
I thought it was funny, man. When I saw your page, I saw you was Jay with the blueprint, and then the homies Jay with the MBA. You know what I'm saying? No doubt. I'm like, man, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
dog.
Man. Yeah, no doubt. Listen, man, I love what you guys do, right? Because anyone who listens to our platform or watches our content knows that we pretty much talk about books no matter what the content piece is, because we think literacy is important. And what you guys do is important, man. But let's talk about your background, though. And each of you can answer individually. Let's start with you, CP. Where are you originally from? And what was your upbringing like?
Yeah, man. So I'm from Houston, Texas, man. Neighborhood called South Park, Houston. If you know anything about Chopped and Screwed, you ever heard about Chopped and Screwed and DJ Screw, anything
Absolutely.
like that? Yeah, okay. I grew up like 5 minutes from where DJ Screw house was and the Chopped and Screw music originated. You know what I'm saying? So I'm from Houston. Man, I'm from the hood. You know, friend. Yeah, I'm from the hood. I'm from the bottom, and grew up real quick. So like when I was young, my old man was on drugs. You know what I'm saying? He was a dope fiend. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So we grew up like with that gotta get it mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was steady. It was always like a struggle. My mama trying to keep us straight and then replace everything he didn't stole. And you know what I'm saying? That back and forth thing. So it was kind of that classic struggling in the hood, trying to make it, got some good things going. But then you got the demons, you know what I'm saying, that torture our hood, drugs and money, and you know what I'm saying, that was a big thing. Syrup flooding the streets, you know what I mean? So you feel me? So that's how I came up, in that environment, so my whole thing was I'm trying to hit a lick, get some bread, and get my people out, so that was the only focus. You feel me? So that was my early childhood.
Yeah, how about you, Jay? What was your upbringing like, Jay?
I'm from Houston. I'm from Third Ward. The Bricks. I'm from the CUNY Home Projects in Third Ward. They call it the honeycomb, because that's where all the syrup come from. The home of Big Mo. You know what I'm saying? If you know who Big Mo is, okay. All the drink come from Third Ward. If you know anything about Houston, all the drink come through Third Ward. So I'm from Third Ward, man. Just same environment, man. I'm projects though. At least Corey grew up in a house. I'm in public housing, baby. We're in public housing.
Listen though, but your name is Jay with the MBA, so you obviously,
I had a hood MBA right? first. I had a hood MBA first. You know what I'm saying? But before I learned what retained earnings was, I knew what re-up money was. You know what I'm saying?
My man.
Yeah,
I heard that.
I had that first. So nah, man, just humble upbringings. I ain't had my father, and I think me not having my father might have been more of a blessing, because a lot of people that had their father, they old man had them selling work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got partners with felonies that ain't gonna never get them felonies gone because they old man gave them their first piece of dope. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I kind of got blessed by not having my old man, because he could have negatively influenced my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, man.
That's an interesting way to look at it, right? Because everybody talks about like, you know, having your, but if your parent is a POS, then sometimes it might be better not to be around that POS, you know. And I know people would disagree with that for whatever reason, but I understand your perspective.
Yeah, for real. The hunger grew, man, just off of that, you know, neighborhood environments grew the hunger. It's like everybody else, man, you know.
Yeah,
we from
man.
The same places, man. Because y'all from Houston, man. It's just a different environment, you know. What DJ Quick say, everything just like Compton, man. Philly is just it's just different types of homes. That's all. But let me ask you a question, man. Since y'all grew up in Houston, man, when y'all were younger, did any of y'all ever dial 281-330-8004?
Come on, man. Come on, man. Get Mike Jones up on the low, cause Mike Jones. Hey, man.
That number still stuck on my head to this day, man.
Yo, that boy is an excellent marketer. He's an excellent marketer, bro. Yeah, he's a better marketer than a rapper, bro.
Man. How about that? I wish that y'all podcast was out back then, because then he would have been able to stop T-Mobile from finessing him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a story. T-Mobile finessed him out of his number, man. They wouldn't let him get ownership of his number and all of that, because they saw how hot it was. They were trying to charge him a bunch of bread for him to get ownership of that number, man.
Absolutely, man. And look, that's a great point, right? We talk about ownership all the time and how he made that hot, but never controlled or owned it, man. That's a great point, man. Listen, I always have a reverence for Houston, because coming up, I'm like, at least in Philly, I'm one of the biggest Brad Jordan fans there are. I love Face, man.
Face Mob.
That's my uncle, who I've never met, but that's my uncle nonetheless, though. But man. So go ahead.
I gotta tell you this real quick. Man, when I was in high school, I was working in high school at Papa Seafood, and Face walked in, and I said, I gotta rap for him, man. I gotta rap for him. When I see my opening, I got to rap for him. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and I built up the courage, and it should encourage you, man, because he was like mad, and he was like mad receptive and encouraging to me. You know what I'm saying? So he was like who you would think he would be. You know what I mean? In real life, dog. I still remember I was like 15 or something rapping for Face.
I ain't got no interesting Face story, but I did used to talk to one of his old chicks that he used to talk to. I used to talk to. That's about the closest I got to.
Yeah, man. Listen, how'd you two guys connect? Right, because you're two from different parts of Houston. How'd you guys end up connecting?
So I came to South Park. My mama got us at the Bricks. So I came to South Park. I thought I upgraded. I thought I upgraded to come to Corey Hood, because I was like, we got a house now. Didn't know the MLK Boulevard was just as bad. It's just they spread out now. They not all confined in one housing building. You know what I'm saying? But it's just as bad. So I ended up moving to South Park or whatever, and I met Corey. I actually met Corey at church.
Okay.
I was listening to. I tell this story all the time. Corey rap changed my life, bro, because I was listening to Trap or Die going to church every day, man. Like, I was hard on that rap, man. I was on Jeezy, even going to church, I'm listening to Trap or Die. You know what I'm saying? And I love it. Shout out to Philly too, man. I love Beans. You know what I'm saying? I love Cassidy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I listen to Philly real tough too. My homeboy Diggs is in Philly. My old military buddy, he from Philly. He from up top. You know what I'm saying? He call it up top. You know what I'm saying? But I got love for them. But that's how I met Corey. I met him at church where he was already into rapping. And when I was getting out the service, and I had ended up joining the same church Corey was at, and I met Corey the day he was performing at the church. I was like, damn, he rapping like that, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, maybe I could put the trapper down. Nah, I can listen to some regular music.
Yeah. At least on Sunday. Yeah.
So where did the idea for Literacy Kings come up? How'd you guys come up with that idea?
So all right, so I started rapping back when I was like 12 or whatever. And I kept rapping or whatever, and then God grace, I started popping a little bit, in the city and stuff. So I put out some projects, we was touring, you know what I mean? So then I met Jay, and I told Jay, like, hey man, I gotta pay taxes or something on this show money or something, dog. Like they sending me W-9s, and you know what I mean? Like,
what this 1099 mean?
I'm like, man, I don't know what's going on, And so Jay was like, he already was up on game. You know what I'm saying? Like Jay was always like, even when he was hustling, he had a system to his hustling. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? So when I came to Jay, he was like, basically teaching me about business. Like, all right, bro, this how you gotta, you know what I'm saying? This how you gotta bust it down, right? And so fast forward from there, he started, saying, oh, check out this book, check out that book. You feel me? And I started reading, and then, bro, we would have these long conversations over the phone. You know what I'm saying? As years develop, these long conversations over the phone about business and books, and chopping it up and relating it to us and asking questions and all of that or whatever. And two different sides. Jay is like, we kind of like Buffett and Munger. You know what I'm saying? Like Jay is like the bricks. You know what I'm saying? He the brick and mortar. You know what I'm talking about? He the facts, he the foundation, and I'm more into like the online, the trend, future spotting, and all of that. So we brought that together, and we basically realized, like, bro, if we didn't have each other to bust down the stuff that we find in these books, we wouldn't really have the true value of them, because I didn't understand what they were saying. I could read the book, but I didn't really understand it though to me. And so I'm like, dog, I wonder how many other people are having the same issue where they trying to read the books, but they not written in a way that relate to them. Maybe we can take these private conversations and make them public.
And I was the opposite. I was the opposite. I had the information and I had it in my head and I could break it down, but I had nobody to talk to. And like, I was the opposite. And so when we link, it's like gelled perfectly. Cause I let Corey out. He was a rapper, and I ain't, I'm not, I'm more of a CEO type. I ain't gonna be dancing all in the videos and all that. I ain't gonna be doing all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be in the back trying to get the back end of the show money. You know what I'm saying? But Corey is more like
I heard
up
that.
front, and he like, nah, Jay, what your knowledge, you need to get that to the masses. Like, you need to get that to the people. And I'm just like, I just trust his vision, and then we gel together to form Literacy King.
Mm-hmm.
Jay, let me ask you a question though. Because obviously Jay with the MBA. So you have your MBA?
Yes, sir. I have my MBA. I have an executive.
Where'd you get your MBA from?
I went to
for school.
TWU in Houston. It's actually Texas Women's University, right? And people ask me, man, why you go to Texas Women's University? Because they was giving out scholarships for males. So I finessed them out of a scholarship to go.
Anytime they open his mouth, I guarantee it's a hook. Just wait for the hook. Anything he do is gonna be calculated, dog.
So they gave me a minority scholarship for males, bro. They was trying to get males to go through that. But actually, it was a great program. It was better than I thought. I joined it for the scholarship money because I was getting money from the government already, and I was trying to flip that money, and I didn't want to spend it on actual school. So I found a way to get some more money from that.
Anybody I talk to that has a background that comes to the street and ends up like with the MBA, just having conversations offline. A lot of times they draw the parallels between what they learned on the street and what they learned in the classroom about, like, the executive. So how was that for you? Like, as someone who comes from the mud, but you get an MBA and you see like some of the lessons and things they teaching. What was that parallel like for you?
A lot of the classes, bro, I end up running the class. in my MBA program, like my professors, they would like pull me to the side and they was like, just, you know, because I don't have an undergrad in business. My undergrad is in psychology. But my professors, they would pull me to the side. I was like, how do you know all of this stuff about business and you don't have an undergrad in business school? Like, did you go to business school? I'm like, yeah, I went to business school, but it wasn't in college. Yeah. Oh yeah, I knew about business way before then. I knew about how to take out competition and the forces of competition and all. Yeah, I knew. I just didn't know from that. Yeah, I was giving SWOT reports way back when.
You like, had to learn the lingo.
Yeah, man. I just had. You're exactly right. I knew re-up money. I didn't know retained earnings. That's exactly what I did. So just running parallel, man, with the streets, man. It's such an advantage, you know, bro. I tell anybody.
No, absolutely, because you know what? Like, just being a practitioner in general, right? So, my master's degree is in real estate, but by the time I went to get my master's degree in real estate, I was already in the streets making deals and doing things. So then, when I got to the classroom, a lot of folks were coming, like, you know, straight from undergrad and had no experience in doing a deal or understanding what they were talking about. They're just going strictly textbook, and I'm like, yo, it don't work that in the real world. Like, you know what I mean? You got Bob. So, you know, never discount experience, no matter where the experience come from. You know what I'm saying? CP, getting back to something you said that I just want to I want to get you guys to talk a little bit deeper about your whole strategy with having these conversations, talking about these books, right? Because listening to your podcast, and as someone who loves books, I wish there was a podcast like this when I was younger. And I say that because I learned to love reading, but it came a little bit later in life because a lot of times when I was in school, you were forced to read. You were just forced to read certain stuff, right? And you had no idea that all these books were out there with different interests, right? It's like, you know, you're forced to read Shakespeare, and you know, until you get a professor that can break down Shakespeare and speak like to us culturally, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen professors who are at these days who are good, but that don't mean nothing to me. Like, where art thou? Like, I'm not trying to hear that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, unless someone can break it down for me in a way. Unless someone could break it down for me in a way that's like, you know, related to me culturally. So I know you got something to say about that, you know, Corey.
Yeah, bro. Man, I got a lot to say about that. You know what I'm
saying? Me too. Because in high school, one of the reasons why I always, you know, I passed all my classes, but I'm more like Jay with the MBA. Like, I'm street. So when you talking about where art thou and all, I'm like, man, I mean, like. Tell me, like, what's the point of this? Like, what is he really trying to say? Like, all right, what is he trying to get at? You know what I mean? Like, can you put this in a way where the average black person, the average kid can understand this? Like, I'm 16 years old. I understood exactly what was being said, but I had to make my teachers explain it like in regular words. Like, stop telling me all this old ass English. Nobody's ever going to use these words again. These words is not getting dug up from the grave. What the hell is he talking about for real? Like, use regular words that we use today. If you can't, I always say, if you can't teach it in plain English, then you really shouldn't be teaching it.
That's real.
And so, you know, as a teacher now, that's why we teach the way we do. You know what I mean? Because me and Jim started similar to how y'all started with conversations. Man, we was having long, drawn out, deep ass conversations. And we was like, we gotta get this to the streets.
Facts.
No doubt. That's part of the reason. That's part of the reason why I'm an actual teacher now, bro. I ain't mean to cut you off, but that's part of the reason why I stay in education. Like, I got real estate. I got titles. I got titles I got to go through now. I got real estate. I got other assets. But the reason why I stay in teaching, bro, is for that reason that you just said, because it's some more kids that's just like us that need them to be giving it to them in a real way that they understand, bro. So what you're saying is my purpose for still being a teacher, bro. No doubt.
That's dope though, because to me, like, all right, so there's a great book called Why. It's like finding your why. I think the guy's named Simon Sinek, whatever his name is, but it sounds like you found your why. Right.
Yeah.
So outside of money and all that kind of things, you've kind of like figured out your why, which is to, you know, the next up and coming kid that was like you, to kind of give it to them in a way they can understand. Pause. But CP,
Yes, sir.
what were you getting ready to say about that topic in terms of relating the material to someone, from a cultural standpoint, right? So, we have a certain way we talk in jargon, certain way we understand what's going on. And when you give a kid a Shakespeare book, I'm not to pick on Shakespeare, but to pick on Shakespeare, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a number of books I can name like that, but that's just what comes to mind. Like I've seen teachers like in the current climate, not before, able to break that down and relate it to like, yo, that's just similar to Baba Baba. That's similar to this. Like, what do you think about just assigning kids books and saying, hey, go read this?
Yeah, I think it's terrible. You know what I'm saying? I think it's terrible. You feel me? I feel like it's dated. You know what I mean? Me and Jay, I always talking about like, say, man, you gotta evolve or die. You know what I mean? Like if anything that doesn't grow is dead, and that format is dead, man, because when you, especially how me and Jay, how we all came up, it has to be relatable, it has to matter, it has to mean something. And so Corey really hit on it real good. So the only thing I really want to add is, man, one of the biggest gaps is where you are to where you hope to be. So that's why a lot of, us, when we come up, we want to be rappers. We want to, play sports. We want to do something that seems obtainable. You feel me? So when you talk about being a CEO or a COO or a CFO, or, you talk about these high level positions or ownership, it don't necessarily seem obtainable. And so therefore you distance yourself from that, or it's not a play, but when you break it down and you allow the information to be attainable, like you say, like Jay said, use the example, if you use you know how to hold back some of your real money. Okay, well, bet business. You know what I mean? Just that right there is gonna get them to lean in. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what you need. You need them to lean in. Like when we had a program in Houston where we was working with the kids in juvie, and when we asked questions, we would say stuff like, who's the richest? Lil Wayne, P. Diddy, Ralph Lauren, Polo, or Mark Zuckerberg. Nobody picked Mark Zuckerberg. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't even know who that was. And then they all get it wrong. And we say, Mark Zuckerberg. Who's Mark Zuckerberg? He created Facebook. You can make money from Facebook free. You feel me? So now they leaning in. You feel me? They leaning in. If you can get them to do that, because that's what they need. A lot of times they need a way out. You feel me? So that's why it's so important, man. That Beowulf and Shakespeare and what's the lady?
Hey, I was gonna say Beowulf. I was gonna say, but when he was talking about high school, I hated Beowulf. In English 3, I was like, man, I'm finna skip every day. I'm finna shoot dice in the bathroom. I'm not going to class. I'm not going to read about no Beowulf. I'm finna shoot dice in the back gym, bro. I'm not going to listen to that.
So then what happened is you start spitting on reading. You like, man, them books ain't, because they didn't force you to try to read all this stuff that don't matter. So then when we talk about, the one thing, we talk about Rich Dad, Poor Dad, we talk about The Richest Man in Babylon, you already like, yeah, man, I know by books, man. I ain't, and so we like, now we're gonna change that. Yeah, we're gonna change that.
Yeah, that's why it's important to do what you do, but also it's important for people that write books, such as Corey and I. Corey and I have a book, Own Your Time and Space. We wrote it in a way that you don't even need to you know what I'm saying? You don't even need to do that. We wrote it for the for the folks to understand. It's interesting, man. It's interesting to hear your stories. Like all the parallels are very interesting to me between you two guys and us two. But let me ask you this: your journey to get to where you both started to where you are now, what has been the biggest hurdle for you guys individually? Like to get to having the Literacy Kings and starting to produce the content you're producing. What has been your biggest hurdle?
You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Man, yeah, I take it first. I say the biggest hurdle, speaking for as Literacy Kings goes, is I come from a background of music, of rapping, so being in the media space, and so I come from rap. But in the podcast space, a lot of our people don't even really. They may not even know about a podcast or heard of a podcast. So when you look at the demographics of podcast listeners, it's a lot of 25 and up white males, and so trying to reach, you know, people of color, you know, younger people, we know that we know and we've seen we're in a space where we having to introduce and educate our target demographic to what this is and why it's beneficial. And I know it's an hour long, but trust me, you know what I'm saying? Like we having to educate the market. So I would say that's probably, you know, one of the hurdles, speaking for as, you know, podcasting is
how about
concerned.
you? How about you in general? How about you in general to go from the person that you were to who you are now? What's been your personal biggest hurdle?
Yeah, so now me in general, I got this one lined up, bro. This I know this one right off the top, bro. So very long story short, man. Born and bred in Houston, career, family, you know. So before rap, I went full time with rap. I was a firefighter. You know what I'm saying? I was a firefighter in Houston, and then my, you know, rap started getting better or whatever, and I was able to focus on it more or whatever. But I had everything there, and so I always knew that's what I wanted to do, you know. But then my wife got into medical school in Kansas City, Missouri. So I had to leave the department and then leave everything I knew from Houston to go to Kansas City, you know. Then in that same month, we found out she was pregnant with our first daughter, you know what I'm saying? Well, our first kid, my little girl. So I went from this like stability, people, you know, people around me, money, you know, being right, all of this stuff, to like all of a sudden kind of in this foreign land, thinking like, man, how I'm gonna be touring? I got a little girl, my wife still got to go to school, and you know, I wasn't equipped, you know, to like just, okay, let me shift and do this, because I had done a couple of things for so long, and so I didn't know. That was the first time in my life that I was like, okay, I don't know what to do as a man. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what got me reading even more. I was trying to read every book I could get my hands on, spiritual and business, because you know, when you're unaware of like your next move, it's hard to be confident in any move. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? And so that was like one of them, the Bible call it one of them wilderness experiences where you just don't know. You feel me? So going through that, bro, that was like the hardest, you know what I'm saying? And that was what ultimately birthed the podcast, but it wasn't planned out, you know what I'm saying? For something I had dedicated my life to for so long, I felt like maybe it's gone now. Maybe I just go get a job now. I don't know. But as you know, as we can see, you know what I'm saying, it was all God's plan, and we here, but it was tough though.
Oh man, yeah. Thank you for sharing that. When you were going through that phase and you don't know what the next move is, what was something that you read along that time that kind of helped you?
Man, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Powerful, dog. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. It's hard. And for any listeners that haven't read it, he does an amazing job. So Eckhart Tolle, his family called him a bum for a long time. Like he was late in the game before he became quote unquote successful, you know. And so he was getting all it, you know, he was living and getting all these experiences. But anyway, he just says that in essence, your mind is usually a vault of memories of the past, and then you have this future that's unknown that you don't know about. And so then a lot of times we spend the present time worrying about a past we can't change and anxious about a future that we don't know about, you know. And that's how you get the downward spiral. But he says your life has always been lived in the now. Nothing has ever happened or will ever happen to you that doesn't happen right now. So if you just focus now, only briefly visit the future, you know, and focus on the now, you'll start to feel your energy rise. You know what I'm saying? And you can make those best moves. So that book was foundational for me, man.
Dope. Jay, in terms of your biggest hurdle, what was your biggest hurdle?
Growing up, my biggest hurdle growing up was trying to get revenge on poverty.
Ooh, explain that one.
Having a chip on your shoulder because you grew up in the projects. See, in Houston, my projects is right down the street from the houses that look like Fresh Prince. You know what I'm saying? With the huge columns. So I'm talking about literally on the same street. If you come to Houston, you'll see what I'm saying. When Corey, when you come to Houston, I'm gonna show you, bro. It's called Tilwester Street. Actually, it's where Big Floyd from. We from this. Me and Big Floyd from the same hood. George Floyd. We're from the same hood. Like his mural and all that. It's on my block. His mural is on my block. His mural. I'm sorry, is on my block.
Yeah.
So when you go straight down that street where his mural is on that corner store, if you take that street, you can go straight from my projects all the way to a street called North McGregor, which is where they got the huge Fresh Prince houses with the columns and huge columns. So wondering why I was born on this side of Tilwester Street and not the other side of Tilwester Street. And that I had to get revenge on poverty, bro. I had to. Like, but then I spent a lot of my life trying to get revenge when I realized that you cannot get revenge on poverty. Your childhood is your childhood. How you grew up, your experiences is how you grew up. And I realized then that I was hustling, but I wasn't financially astute. So it's a lot of people taking penitentiary chances and doing this and doing that like I was. But when I learned that this dollar that we hustling for is not worth anything, and when I start getting financially astute and start realizing, oh, what these are assets, it changed my way of thinking. I'm like, I can't get in the streets no more. Now I'm wasting my freedom over depreciating currency. So when I start educating myself, I realize, yeah, let me change my whole MO. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's dope.
Think and Grow Rich is by Napoleon Hill.
Whew.
First book I ever read from start to finish.
Hard.
Matter of fact, my girl at the time pissed me off, and I grabbed the book and I went outside and read the whole book.
Yo, I'm shout out to her. Hey, shout out to her. Shout out to her. I give her a shout out for that.
Shout out to her.
Yeah.
If you listen, you ain't gonna get no royalties off this. If you listen, yeah.
No, man, you guys made some great books, man, and thank you for sharing those personal experiences. Like, I think that's interesting. It reminds me, like, if you guys have been to LA, you go to LA. You're like in Hollywood and Bel Air and all that. You make a couple turns and you in the hood, and it's like they this close.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like y'all this close, but yeah, man, it's like a not to no pun intended, but it's like a tale of two cities. But you like right there. But so let's talk about some books though, right? You guys both gave amazing books though, but let's come with a couple more. I want to know, like, you guys are the literacy kings. You do break down literature in a way that our folks can understand. So just give me a couple of your favorite books. We're gonna start with you, CP. Give me a couple of your favorite books that you think everybody should read.
For sure. So you just get started. So Layup, Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's
Karl Malone layup.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's a layup. You want to read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. He grew up with a rich dad. He called it his rich dad, which was an entrepreneur. It was actually his partner dad, and his biological father was just a worker. You know what I'm saying? And so that's his poor dad. And Rich Dad Poor Dad, he walks you through understanding how to utilize grow your financial IQ is what he calls it. You know what I'm saying? Grow your financial IQ so you can see things that other people can't see. You can see that money is illusion. You can see that you can invent money legally. You can, you go from that. He even helps you understand how you can utilize your job, you know what I'm saying, to work for your benefit, and then eventually how you can, grow your business and stuff. So Rich Dad Poor Dad fire. I mentioned Richest Man in Babylon. That's the ABCs of money. Richest Man in Babylon is the ABCs. He talk about paying yourself first.
George Clason, it's a classic.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yes,
Talk about that. So here's the thing that go with it. So I mentioned like The Power of Now, you know what I'm saying, as a book, but it's another the spiritual aspect of it I feel is as powerful as well, you know what I'm saying. So you have other books like The Naked Now, and it's a book that's basically he's talking about how we think that we are humans trying to become more spiritual, but we really spirits trying to operate in the human form. You know what I'm saying? And so it's it's a book that helps you elevate your mind, because that's a big battle for us. You know what I'm saying? Coming from when you broke, thinking about building generational wealth, you know, it's in the mind. You know what I'm saying? That's a big thing. And then memoirs. I'm real big on memoirs, biographies, and stuff like that. So you know, you got some fire ones like Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. You know what I'm saying? How he, you know, that's another one that's
that was
fire.
hard.
And that's Shoe Dog. That's business in there. You know what I'm saying? Like that boy should have been quit. You know, he should have.
Yeah. It's interesting to see where Nike is now, the way we know Nike. But when you read that story and you see his struggles in the beginning, you like, you know, it's just interesting to see how, you know. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
What's some of your other favorite bios? What other bios you like?
I love the Shoe Dog. Steve Jobs, the Steve Jobs bio. Is fire.
Walter Isaacson.
Yeah,
that was
Walter Isaacson joint. Yeah. That one, the Steve Jobs one is fire. What else? So another one. The joint, I forget the name. It's the creator of Domino's, the founder of Domino's has a bio. It's called Tiger Man, the Tiger. I can't remember the name of it.
I've never read that one. I gotta check that out.
Yeah, that boy went through it, because when Domino's first started, Pizza Hut was king. So they had a few little handful of restaurants, and Pizza Hut was the big players on the map. You know what I'm saying? And them boys came from the back of the pack, you know, with that focus. He had that meeting with Ray Kroc from McDonald's and it turned that boy up. You know what I'm saying? And he go through a lot of his struggles. And he grew up in like a one of the Catholic orphanage joints, and eventually became a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's called the Tiger Man.
I never read that one. I gotta check that out. That sounds good. I love bios too. Jay, before we get to your list, do you guys read anything that's like, you know, fiction? Do you do any fiction reading, or just all nonfiction?
I haven't. That's one area of my thing. I haven't had time to, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I respect that.
I would like to. I would need like guidance when it comes to getting more into fiction. You know what I'm saying? I need some good recommendations. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I was just wondering, because I like I said, I listen to your show. I hear some of your recommendations, and a lot of it, are nonfiction books, and spiritual or business and things of that nature. I was just wondering whether you had like, I already know how you feel about Beowulf, so I'm gonna leave that alone. But
yeah, I'm saying with Jay, yeah. But I respect the story circle, so I'm down with fiction. You know what I mean? Because it's the joint. What's the Power of Myth by Joseph Campbell. I don't know if y'all heard of that, but that joint, you know what I'm saying? So I respect the story circle and all that. I was like, Jay, I ain't grow reading nothing. So then when I started reading, it was like, hey, I need something I can make shake, baby. You know what I'm saying? But now I get to a point where I would be open to fiction too.
You know what's funny though, because there's one book that that was given to a lot of people in school. But if you read it as an adult, it has a whole different meaning, and that's Animal Farm, right?
I heard of Animal Farm.
Yeah, if you ever read Animal Farm by George Orwell, like what it meant to me when I was younger, and it was like given to me in school, versus reading it now as an adult. I just read it again last year, and I'm like, this is actually pretty dope. But but you have a different understanding as an adult, right? So it just goes to show that teachers weren't teaching it right. But anyway, let's get to Jay's list, man. Give us some of your favorites. Some of your favorite books.
Well, anything purple and black. If you don't know what that means, that's all Robert Kiyosaki books, right? So
my favorite is Cash Flow Quadrant. That's my personal favorite.
You see anything purple and black over there. You know what I'm saying?
You even got the new one, Fake Money.
Yeah, anything purple and black. I probably done read it. I've done dissected it already. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about Black Wall Street. We're gonna come with this one. Trust me. Stay tuned. By Hannibal Johnson, Black Wall Street, from riot to renaissance, right? Talking about the Greenwood district. Yeah, it's fire, bro. We coming with that one. That's the next season. Let me show you Jordan Pittman and Rodman real quick. Hold on.
Jordan Pippen and Rodman.
Yeah, Claude Anderson, baby. Jordan Pippen and Rodman. You're gonna start with the Powernomics. Everybody know that.
Oh yeah, Powernomics.
Yeah, that's Jordan right there.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got Pippen right here. Black Labor, White Wealth. Claude Anderson. You know what I'm saying? Then we got Rodman, Dirty Little Secrets about Black history and heroes and stuff like that. Yeah, that's Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman right there in '98. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I like that. I like that analogy.
Yeah. I got this book right here that I'm diving into it. Banker to the Poor. Corey put me on this one. It's about micro lending, right?
Yep.
And how this guy changed
in India,
his whole
right?
environment in India. Yeah, man. So in the future, in a few years, I'm gonna open a lending institution. So and I'm gonna model myself behind this formula. So what I'm doing now is studying other lending institutions, right? I take my mail and I reverse engineer my mail. And what I do is anybody that wants to give me a loan, I read their contracts and I read their contingencies and all of that. And I'm a reverse engineer and I'm gonna build my lending company the opposite of theirs. So I'm gonna use this for micro lending. It's very powerful. From the little that I read, I haven't finished it, but from the little that I have read, it's like,
oh no, that's a powerful book. That's definitely a powerful book.
Yeah.
And
so
anyone who like watches our platform knows that Powernomics is a big inspiration for me and our entire platform. Like that book, and I know it's very cliche, and I've said it on damn every podcast, but it literally changed my life. Like, so shout out to Dr. Claude Anderson. Have either of you guys read Black Fortunes?
I got it.
Jay got it.
Black.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I got it over here. It's over here in the corner.
Jay, I haven't read it yet.
I'm just making sure because that book is another must read. That's a must read. Black Fortunes is another must read, man. You know, man, you gave some powerful stuff right there, man. I like the Rodman, Pippen, and Jordan analogy too. Because
Rodman, man,
that's hard. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, man.
Man, I got some more stuff. I got some books about Meyer Lansky and how Meyer Lansky changed, like his thought process in the mob. Honor Rothstein, the Big Bankroll by Honor Rothstein. Like, just think how he thought, and you know that guy was a wizard with the numbers. So anybody that I think was a wizard with the numbers, bro. I try to study him. You know what I'm saying?
Jay, don't be stingy, bro. Don't. Hey, don't water it down. If you're gonna talk about the Meyer Lansky, you got to give him the foundation, the profit. You got to give him the profit. The book you got over there.
Which one?
The what's the name of the book you got with Meech?
Oh, BMF.
Yeah,
BMF joint. I mean, hey, these two books are real too. This the BMF joint with Meech. This is a documentary that she put. As soon as he got jammed up, they put out the documentary. Yeah. And then this accountant story. This wrote by Escobar's accountant, Pablo Escobar's accountant.
I've never seen that one.
Yeah. Hey, it's the truth. I'm telling you, anybody that's wizards with the numbers, bro, I try to like study them and see, they formulas.
It's a lot you can learn from that, right? So, but the funny thing is, like, that's one of the reasons I asked about fiction books, right? Because
the Big Bankroll,
yeah, I gotta get down with that. I haven't read that one. But one of the reasons I brought up fiction, right? Because like as someone who's in business, right, and you try to, and you guys are creatives, you guys have your brand and you're building it out, and which is amazing. But one of the things you can learn a lot from fiction is like in terms of creativity, right? So everybody knows how to color in the lines. You can get the books that'll tell you, okay, this is the law, this is that law, but just in terms of your thought process, right? So sometimes when building business is about like expanding your mind and thinking. And that happens a lot when you read fiction, because you say, well, how the hell did they come up with this, right? You know, it expands your mind. Reading in general, which is why reading is so powerful, right? You know, the cliche is leaders are readers. And if you look at any study of successful people, CEOs, investors, or whatever, they're huge readers. And it's a reason for that. There's definitely a reason for that.
Hey, bro,
yeah, man, listen.
To drive your point home, I legit remember I remember writing, you know what I'm saying, like writing as a rapper early on, and as I was writing and the creativity is going, I started to understand things about myself that I didn't know. You feel me? Like I would write it and then kind of sit back and look at it like, oh man, I didn't know I really felt that way. I thought that way. So I'm just saying, like, to your point, when you read, whether you read nor writing, and your mind is going to a place, you know what I'm saying, creatively, it starts to open up it starts to open up, the vision, you know what I'm saying, that you can have about whatever your future may be.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, the thing about it is, I guess it's, as a rapper, right? It can't do nothing but help you as an MC to be a reader, right? It can't do anything but help you if you read, because that expands, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's gonna help you with everything, bro. Especially like you said, leaders or readers. You listen to people, and you listen to these CEOs of businesses, of big business, Bill Gates. They'll ask him, well, how did you do this? Or what happened with that? I got a book and I read it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the founder of Whole Foods, he don't have no degree. He's like, well, how did you do it? He's like, I just read books, and then did what was in them. So it sounds too easy to be true, but it really is. We doing it. We do, you know what I mean? We all on here right now. That's what we doing. We're reading books and then we putting it out there.
When you
absolutely,
to go back to what
man,
you said,
and it's amazing how much information is in there. But go ahead, Jay. What you say, Jay?
I was just like, to go back to what you said, bro. That's the main reason I read all the time. I read something every day because of what you said. It's a mental exercise. It's like lifting weights for your brain. So, like, I'll get a business idea and I'm reading about something else. Like, it's not necessarily. I might be reading about Kobe or reading about somebody, and then I'll get a business idea. I'm like, yo, I need to use that. But it's not because I'm reading about business, it's because my mind is working.
Yeah.
Because I'm reading something else. It's already exercising my mind, already on the treadmill, baby. So when I get this idea, it is sparked from that. So I try to read everywhere, and I try to get my sons to get their love for reading up too, so they can get their thoughts just generating, so you can pump out them thoughts. So I agree with you.
Yeah, that's a powerful statement right there, man. And it's amazing how much information is in books that you just don't get every day, like everywhere. I'm reading a book currently. It's called Rat Fucked. That's the name of the book. It's by David Daly, and the book is about how in politics, how they change. They do a lot of redistricting, so they can have certain control over different areas without necessarily having the votes, but it's how they cut the lines. And how it's happening in modern times right in front of us, and most of us don't know about it. And as they read it and they start breaking down the facts, and you say, oh, that's why that happened, or that's why that happened. Like, and these things are happening right in front of my eyes, but I had no idea until I was able to read this book, and someone put it all together and explain certain things and give you certain facts to back up their explanation. But reading is just powerful overall, man, which is why, I definitely wanted to highlight you guys' platform, because, you guys talk about books, but you talk about them in a way that the average person can relate. And I'm hoping that you guys have a lot of success, right? So I was a part of a podcast called The Listening, right? So the idea between that podcast where we were just going to do audiobooks. Anything that was on audio, we were going to talk about it, right? And we did an episode. Our episode we did was the Bobby Brown bio. Right. And I know that has nothing to do with business or anything, but it was just an interesting experience to hear. So one of the reasons I want to talk to you is to hear someone who reads books to get their perspective on it. Right. Because me and Jay can read the same book, and Jay will come away and be like, yo, he said XYZ or said to do this. And I'll be like, well, I took this from it. And that's another powerful thing about books. Do you guys ever find yourselves like reading the same book, and when you guys go to talk about it, you're bringing different things from that book?
That's the reason why I won't record individually without Corey, because sometimes to speed up our process, I recommend, I'm like, bro, I can just go in the lab, get mine in real quick, on some rapper type stuff, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to relate this to rap. I'm like, man, let me just lay my verse, bro. You know what I'm saying? Then we mix it later. You know what I'm saying? It's good. But I can't do that. And the reason why I can't do that is because of his opinion. For instance, anytime I get sparked up, I'm calling Corey, right? So I was reading about the Gold Reserve Act of 1934 just yesterday, right? And I had found in there, I was like, yo, this our next episode, fam. You know what I'm saying? And like, I get juiced up, but when I hit the Corey line, and Corey give me another perspective, it just juiced me up some more. And now I gotta, okay, now I need to, because Corey give me the perspective of the common man. And sometimes he'd be like, Jay, only you understand stuff the way you understand stuff. So when I talk to Corey, it's like, I need to bust it down for Corey. And if I can bust it down for Corey, then I can bust it down for anybody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so I'll never not do nothing without him, because he gives me that other aspect of things. And you should look at it like this, or these are the questions that the person that's listening to you gonna have, Jay. So do it like that. Yeah. So yeah, I can't. That's why in our creative process, it's a lot of times I could record by myself, but it's like it won't be the same, because you need him, you need our energies bouncing off of each other, and we're two completely different people. So you would need them in the same room together, sharpening each other. And Corey made me better, bro. He's like, I turn up around Corey because it's like, you know what I'm saying? That's why y'all get all that crazy stuff, because I be in the room.
I be turning him up before he hit record. I be gassing him up. But see,
listen,
that perspective coming together is everything, dog. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like it you know, I know, and this is good for your point. Like, I remember talking to Jay about Amazon. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Amazon. And he like, yeah. But you know, you also need to invest in Walmart. I'm like, Walmart? What, you know, like, what you mean? This was years ago. He like, bro, if you, it's a number one, but it got to be a number two. You know what I'm saying? So don't start getting so absorbed by number one that you forget about the number two. You know what I'm saying? And the plays that's being made by number two on a foundational level. You know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, that's, you know what I'm saying? This was like 2 years ago, bro. Walmart Stockton probably tripled since then, dog. You feel me? So I'm like, man, this boy
I'm
crazy.
trying to tell this man I'm trying to tell him about second movers advantage and stuff that I learned in MBA school. I'm like, bro, you tripping. I know you love Tesla, but look at who next. I know you love Walmart, but look at, like, I'm trying to give him the game. And it's like, it's crazy because we like completely opposite, but we like the same at the same time. So it's like,
yeah, I got you.
And I think that's what people are seeing in our podcast. They're seeing two different guys that, like, they're only thing that's different of us is our personalities are different. Like, we had the same environment growing up, but it's just like our paths were different, and then we came back. Yeah. But how we look at stuff is different, but we need each other though to bounce off of. Just like you and you and Corey might need each other, like, to just bounce off of, bro. It's just iron sharpens iron all day long.
Teamwork, man. Teamwork is amazing, man. And what you just said is very powerful, man, about, like, you know, how getting that perspective. And if I have to be able to get it through to him if I'm getting it through to our audience, right? So I think that's very important.
Exactly.
I think that's very important, man.
Yeah, like, because when you get it to people, like any you hear it over and over again. Like Bill Gates was even talking about, like, when he first came out with that, when they came out with their software and stuff, he was like, we wasn't the best. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't that we were the best, is that we marketed better. You know, we got it to the people better. We knew how to play that part of the game. So that's like, you have to really respect both sides of the play. Is like, you know, it don't matter how dope it is if you can't get it out there and if it's not being receptive, you know. So it's a perfect blend.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So Corey, you got any questions for the good brothers, man? I know you had to pop back in. You got any good questions,
man? Because I'm on the teaching side, so I feel that energy, because, like, when me and Jim talk, I always talk about teaching it like we teaching it like a kindergartner. You know what I mean? Like, we talk it like we talking to the people, to our folks, because that's who we talking it for. Like, other people might receive it, but that ain't who it's for. So if you receive it and it ain't for you, good for you. But that's not what we really setting out to do. We really setting it out to be received by our folks in a way that they can go ahead and use it. So, you know what I mean? I know that energy, because that's the energy that we, you know what I mean, that we rock with, you know what I mean? Like, and everything is done organically. Like, if it can't be done organically, it can't be done.
Right.
And so that's we have that kind of organic energy too. Like I'm a behind the scenes dude too. Like to be honest, like I had to be talked into doing podcasts and stuff like this, man. On some real shit, like, cause I don't want to be famous. I just you can keep the fame. Give me all the money though.
Hey, let me tell you a funny story. Let me tell you a funny story, Corey. Hey, Corey. Hey, my CP had texted me. He was like, "Hey, bro, we got an interview with by the hood, right?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, because he had been told me about y'all, right?" So he was like, "We got an interview at 3:30," and then. What you say, CP? You asked me, how like have you ever been interviewed before?
Have you ever had an interview before?
And get what I tell him? I say, do police interrogations count? I ain't never been on no interview for no podcast, So that's why I was asking him. I'm like, hey, if police interrogations count, then hey, I've been interviewed before.
He
dead serious, like y'all gonna put it in the intro too.
Yo, that's gangster. Yo, that's gangster. I'm glad we were the first, man. I feel extra honored now that we were the first, man, because now you have experience. You got you got your foot wet and you got to get your bars off and nobody was there to haul you off if you said the wrong shit.
Because I be holding back on the podcast. I'm like, man, I don't want to be too
no, but you gotta be
you know what I'm saying? Like,
nah, man, you gotta be you though, man. You gotta turn out. You gotta turn up and turn out, man. Like if you ever go to my Facebook page, if you go to my Facebook page, I be turning up. I be turning the fuck out. Jim will tell you he get calls about my Facebook page all the time because my shit be turned out.
Yeah. People be calling me. What's wrong with your man? But you know what? The point I was gonna make about you, man, is like a friend of mine, good friend of David Williams, good brother, who's been on our show before. He's a marketing professional, and one of the things that he taught me was you have to be authentically you, because even if someone doesn't like, so you'll rub a lot of people the wrong way, but they wasn't gonna mess with you anyway. So all you're doing is you're getting to the people that will mess with you, right? So by being authentic, right, there's no fraud, no lines. You don't have to remember nothing, no BS. Right. And you're getting to the, so we already understand that when we put our podcasts out and we talk our talk the way that we do, some people won't agree with it. I mean, some of the inboxes I get on IG are just absolutely insane. I wish I could post them all, but I get so many craziness. Like I got one last week, and dude was telling me I need to stop talking about black wealth because that's racist. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
cut it out.
I'm like, this ain't for you. I'm talking to my people. Like, this ain't even for you. So, but this is the kind of like, so my point is, I'm like, well, FOH, like you ain't for me. Like I'm speaking to a specific audience, right? And I say that to you guys because I think that what attracted me to your product and your podcast is because it's authentic. So never change that, man. And I didn't have any idea you was holding back, because I'm like, this is already hilarious and great content. Now I found out you holding back. You gotta be yourself, man. You gotta let it all loose, man. I mean, because
you gotta turn up.
They want the authentic. Yeah, absolutely.
Shout out to my homie in Philly. Matter of fact, my homie Jeremiah. I just sent homie some books. Okay. The 19-year-old Corey, the one that hit us in the inbox, saying he love our show and whatever. Yeah, homie from Philly.
That's what. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's
homie from Philly, man. So he hit us up. You would say Young Bull. Y'all call him Young Bull. The Young Bull out there. You know what I'm saying? Young Bull. Yeah, Young Bull out there. I sent him to John. I sent him to John up there. hey, my homie Diggs from Philly, he'll be proud of me. You know what I'm saying?
We got a John from Houston.
Yeah, I sent him to John up there.
You all right with me? Yeah, you all right with me, man? I don't care what nobody say. You all right with me, man? Listen, what's the future for Literacy Kings? What do you guys see your future? What are some of the things that you want to work on, that you plan to work on?
Yeah, bro. So our long-term vision mission that our kids might carry on is we want every kid from every low-income neighborhood in America, starting with Houston, to have read a financial book by the time they graduate high school. You know what I'm saying? That's our long-term goal, that you've read at least one financial book before you graduate high school, you know. And so that's our mission. That's gonna keep us busy for a long time, you know. But on the shorter side of that, what we're gonna do, man, is we're gonna keep breaking down these financial books each season. Then what we're gonna do after this, and this a little bit of the game that me and Jay put together, we're gonna take the seasons and we're gonna basically turn them into audio books. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna turn the seasons into audio books, you know, and merge that with a little music and stuff to kind of create an audio experience. And not just like it's just read like one by one. It's gonna be more of an audio experience from each book. And then I'm like I say, I'm moving back to Houston, so we setting up the podcast studio, so we're gonna start having it to where it's video and audio that we putting out pretty heavy, other than the Zoom. And then on top of all of that, man, me and Jay are slowly, over time gonna be working on a book, so we can join y'all, man. We come together and put out a book that we've crafted together as well. So yeah, man, that's the focus.
And I already told you,
that's fire, man.
As far as me, I'm really serious about starting this lending institution, man, for our people. In whatever way, God bless it to where I can get it out. But yeah, I'm gonna start a lending institution. Also, we got some other people who voice need to be heard too. So we just looking at duplicating what we do to get them a voice as well.
Yeah, we want to start the Literacy Kings Network, the podcast network. You know what I'm saying? And tell the stories of our people. That came up and that they got a voice or whatever to get out there as well. So just try to get the system down and keep reduplicating it.
Man, that's dope. That's all amazing stuff, man. That's one part. We gotta get you guys a copy of this book right here, Own Space.
Please do.
No doubt.
We got to get y'all a copy of that. We need y'all to break that down on y'all show, man. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get y'all a copy of that, man.
Dope.
Yeah, man. Listen, man. You guys are doing amazing work. So first off, I just want to thank you for your time, first of all, because, as we said, own your time and space. We know the value of your time. So I want to say thank you for your time. And also just to tell you guys, man, to keep it up, man. And Jay, keep being yourself, man. CP, keep doing your thing, because what you guys are doing is very important. And you're going to bring people to reading, right? And it doesn't matter how many, right? If you bring a couple people to reading, you guys have already done your job, because reading expands your horizons. It makes you a more well-rounded person, but it also just makes you think. And the work that you guys doing, you're going to create a lot of readers, and I think that's very important, man. What you guys doing is revolutionary. So I want to say thank you and congratulations to you guys.
Thank you, bro. And we want to say thank you, man. I want to say thank you because you are carving a space. You have carved a space in this Black financial literacy podcast space, however they want to call it. You are carving a space and going ahead, because we didn't listen to podcasts really like that, and so once I started looking for them, I would find like stuff from Wondery or what's his name? Or you find that kind of stuff. But then I'm looking for some people that look like us, talking like us. I come across you. So when I see that, me and Jay see that turn us up. You know what I'm saying? Okay,
no doubt.
Let me go to the. So you feel me? Because we starting from the ground. You know what I mean? So the dedication, the consistency. You be having me rolling with the IG, you know what I'm saying? Videos on the IG. Hey, that is R&B. Say, man.
Yeah. Hey, that's my thing, man. That's my thing, man.
Yeah, bro.
As anybody knows, anybody who follows the IG page knows I love 90s R&B. So I found a way. I found a way to like put my two loves, finance and R&B. I said I found a way to mix them. Like, life is good, man.
But, man, I don't care what nobody say. Jodeci is the best R&B group ever.
No doubt. Yeah.
My 19-year-old self agrees with you.
I mean, I'm from Philly, so I'm kind of partial to Boys to Men, but I'm from Philly, so
I knew you would see. My homeboy Diggs said that too. My homeboy Diggs said Boys to Men too.
I respect it.
I like Boys the Men, but Boys the Men did not. You know, Jodeci was being boomed in my college dormitory. When you heard Jodeci, and all you saw was the sock in the door.
I mean that's because that talk. I mean, if you want to get down to it, the boys that was talking at the worst was the H-Town.
Yeah. They know Shazam.
They definitely my 19-year-old self loved them too, man. They was definitely they was doing it big, man.
Yeah, man. So
I wanted to be a part-time lover.
What it was. Yeah, man. What you said though, CP. I want to just talk about that real fast. Is that there are a lot of black creatives, and I think that's what's dope because I've been listening to podcasts for years, right? So, people that follow my personal journey knows that I'm part of a sports podcast called War Room Sports, and our podcast has been going since 2009. So I've been in the podcast space a long time.
Wow.
But now in 2020, right? In 2020 is interesting because there's like so many black creatives that now I look at what I subscribe to because I try to like unsubscribe from a lot of the junk that I have for years. It's so many black creatives making great work that all I listen to is our people. You guys, like, and I don't want to keep naming a bunch of names. I don't want to forget anybody, but it's just so many of them, you know, from like Earn Your Leisure to Xavier and the Millionaire Mindset. You got Tide Capital. You got what we're doing. We got what you're doing. My man Kamari, the Finance Rebel. There's like so many great black creatives. You know what I'm saying? And it's in every space. It's in finance, but it even other stuff, man. Like my guy Kurt from Head Nerds in Charge creates content around like, you know, black comics. And so there's like all sorts of content creators that look like us in 2020 to the point where I don't even have to listen to them, right? I don't have to I don't have to listen to CNN. I can listen to, you know, a Wall Street Trapper or whatever it may be, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, so that's kind of the space I'm in now, man. Even when it comes to just regular content on TV, right? You know, you got your Blackish, you got your Issa Rae, you got Lovecraft Count, you got all these different black stories being told. And it's just an amazing, man, what a time to be alive, man. 2020 is just dope because you get to see people that look like us putting out amazing work.
Bro, and I mean, and even to the level, my daughter, bro, one of her favorite little shows is this show called Motown Magic, and it's all black.
That's
you know
my
what I'm
son's
saying?
favorite show. My son is too. That's his favorite. That's his favorite show.
Yeah, man, Motown Magic, all black. You know, I don't even know if that was possible when we was little. You know, I don't even.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying.
Nah, man, we watching the PJs, man.
We had our Motown. It was called Fat Albert. We had Fat Albert.
Yeah, we had Fat Albert and the PJs, bro. And the PJs, bro.
That's right. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. But that was a great point, though. See, a great point, though, man. So listen, we appreciate you guys, man. And we definitely gonna stay in touch, man. Anything you need from us to help you guys along your journey, we're here to help you, man. Because it's all about networking and building this bigger black network, man. So just want to say thank you guys, man. I'm going to put the link to their IG as well as any show or all their contact within the bio. So for the folks watching, please make sure you share this episode. Take a look at what they got going on and please support them. Give them book recommendations and things you want them to cover. You know what I'm saying? You know, let's talk literacy, man. Literacy is important in our community. So let's keep having these conversations. Make sure you check our recommended books list that we already have in the bios of every one of our episodes. We're going to add some more books that were talked about today, man. I got to read that Meyer Lansky book personally. I'm into that. So, you know, I'm into all that. So, but anyway, man, for the folks out there listening, man, we appreciate all your support. Please support the Literacy Kings and their movement. And as we always say, it's not about how much money you make. It's about how much you keep. Game elevates, and we'll see y'all in the next episode. Facts. Peace.